Conditional formatting is a feature in Google Slides that makes it easy to highlight certain values or make particular cells easy to identify by adding some type of color coding to them. So I've got a set of data here for hours worked over a 4-week period, then the total number of hours worked by each person, and the average number of hours. Now for our purposes, 37.5 is going to be considered a full-time work week. So anything over that would be considered overtime, and anything under that means that they're working less than a full-time work week. But I want to make sure this is a little easier for me to read, so I'm going to add some conditional formatting. I'm going to go to Format, Conditional Formatting, and it's going to pop up here, first of all, on the right-hand side, how I can format it. I need to figure out first what cells I want this to apply to, so I'm going to click on my Select Data range. And then within my table, I'm going to highlight the cells that I want to add in to my conditional formatting. And then I'm going to hit OK. So now I can see that it is going to format the hours worked for weeks 1 through 4, plus it's going to format the hours worked average per week. Okay, so now that I have my range selected, I have lots of options for how I can choose what's in the cell. So you can ask it to format based on the cell, if the cell is empty or not, if it contains certain text, if it has a certain date, or if it has a certain number. So I'm going to start out and say less than. So if the value of my cell is less than 37.5, which is what we're considering full-time, then I want it to be color-coded blue. Then I'm going to add another rule. And I'm going to say this time, if it is equal to 37.5, I want it to be color-coded green, so that I know that those are the ones that are working exactly the right amount of hours to be considered full-time. And then I'm going to add one last rule and say if it's greater than 37.5, I want it to be red, so I know those that are working overtime hours each week. I'm going to hit done. And now I can see that I have a visual that can kind of tell me, week 1, lots of people worked overtime, or then I can also look across and say, oh, Jim Smith, he works overtime most weeks. So that helps me have a little bit of a visual as to who is working what kind of hours each week. So you are able to get a visual based on conditional formatting within your cells.